and then automatically adjusted the flight path to avoid a collision.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
This allowed F-111s to fly as low as 200 feet above the surface.
Hey guys, this is Loud Guys. Today we are going to watch F-111 Aardvark, if I'm pronouncing it right, a jet fighter assassin.
And
So what is this?
assassin is normally the one who is the killer.
Oh, the killer.
Yes, and this plane looks very pointy. You know, it's like it is from that Dictator movie. It was made from like that because
Dictator movie. I've not seen it.
No, you have not seen it.
Huh.
So it's very pointy in nature, and also like we have not seen any such planes. We have normally seen those F.
It's also very slim.
Yeah, and we have seen Warthogs and different kind of planes, but never I've heard this name F-111. This is the first time I'm hearing this plane.
Assassin means you said killer, but killer from which side? Well, it's from US?
Backside.
Of course. Shut up.
Which side killer? Killer from every side. So let's start this video. Wow.
The F-111 Aardvark is a jet fighter
like a rocket,
assassin.
huh?
It's like it failed. The engine.
The F-111 Aardvark was the U.S. Air Force's premier strike aircraft for the majority of the Cold War.
Like some of the
Oh.
It
birds.
served in practically every
During
conflict
Cold War.
from Vietnam forwards until it was replaced by the F-15E Strike Eagle.
Yeah, that we know.
It also served Strategic Air Command in a limited role as a strategic bomber. But what made the F-111 great? Did the United States truly lose any capability by retiring it?
It's like it is run on CNG.
The F-111 was one of the earliest joint service aircraft, meant to fulfill both the U.S. Air Force's requirement for a swing-wing strike bomber and the U.S. Navy's requirement
Wee.
for a long-range interceptor.
Fancy.
Revolutionary design.
It's like a cat eye.
The F-111 was built around two powerful yet fuel-efficient TF-30 turbofan engines with new afterburner technology. The fuselage could accommodate bomb loads of up to 31,000 pounds
Wow.
and fuel for missions up to 2,500 miles long, with external tanks adding another 1,000 miles. The large plane
External
weighed
tanks.
20 tons empty, or more than twice that loaded. The
Wow.
designers of the F-111 faced a challenge. They needed a plane that could fly at very high
wow.
speeds,
It looks
but
very
still
nice.
take off or
Very
land on a
classy.
short runway. Using smaller wings would create less drag, allowing the aircraft to fly faster, but also create less lift, requiring the aircraft to achieve
And this
higher
is not that
speeds
heavy.
before takeoff, in turn necessitating a longer runway.
It's like a
For
paper
example,
plane.
the other supersonic fighter bomber of the era, the F-105 Thunder Chief, had very small wings and required airstrips over a mile long for takeoff, limiting which airfields it could operate from.
Okay.
The F-111's designers adopted a new technology of variable geometry or swing wings. These permitted the wings to swing out during takeoff to generate maximum lift and would tuck
nice.
inward mid-flight to achieve higher speeds.
Pilot would
The
love this.
F-111 was the
Love this,
first of
fun to
several
fly.
major designs that used the technology. The two-man crew sat side by side in a cockpit pod. If they needed to escape, a rocket boosted the pod upward, which then floated to the ground on a parachute, just like a space capsule. A key innovation was the F-111's revolutionary new terrain-following radar, which mapped the ground directly in front of the plane and then automatically adjusted the flight path to avoid a collision.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
This allowed F-111s to fly as low as 200 feet above the surface and
Wow.
make precise adjustments at high speeds without crashing, even when flying at night or in bad weather conditions. The F-111's talent for hunting in darkness, nose close to the ground, was what earned it the appellation Aardvark.
Aardvark.
Early F-111s did show promise, capable of flying over the speed of sound at Mach 1.2 at low altitude, or more than double that, Mach 2.5 at high altitude,
What
all
is
the
this
while
plane?
requiring only a 2,000-foot runway to land. It was the first tactical aircraft to cross from the United States to Europe without mid-air refueling.
So why was it stopped?
However, the F-111's design was biased in favor of the Air Force's specifications. The carrier-based interceptor version, the F-111B, performed abominably in trials, struggling to exceed Mach 1. The expensive forced compromise that was the naval version was finally scrapped, leaving everyone millions of dollars poorer. Many of the more promising design elements of the F-111B made it over to the F-14 Tomcat, however.
But why didn't they use that Air Force one only?
Desert Storm. F-111s participated in the Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm, in 1991.
Wow.
During Desert Storm, F-111Fs completed
Oh, wow.
3.2 successful
Cute.
strike missions for every unsuccessful one,
Not for
better
the
than
people
any
below.
other U.S. strike aircraft used in the operation. The group of 66 F-111Fs dropped almost 80% of the war's laser-guided bombs, including the penetrating bunker buster GBU-28. The F-111s were credited with destroying more than 1,500 Iraqi tanks and armored vehicles.
Wow.
Their use in the anti-armor role was dubbed tank blinking.
Tank plunking. Blinking.
Pigs of the Pacific.
Pigs.
Pigs. What is his
The
name?
F-111 remained in service with the
This is
Australian Air
mad,
Force until
mad
2010,
creep.
where it was affectionately known as the Pig. Starting with a batch of 24 F-111Cs
Now-
received in
now I also feel it looks
1973,
like a pig.
the Australians acquired an
not
additional
actually.
15 FB-111s and 4 F-111As. Though never used in combat, the F-111s gave Australia the ability to project military force across the vast distances of the Pacific Ocean, enhancing its diplomatic clout.
That are the fans. Not
Pigs were the
little.
pride of Australian air shows, where they frequently performed a maneuver in which fuel was dumped and ignited with the afterburners,
Oh, so that's
known
how
as
they
the
did
dump
it.
and burn. Australia upgrades its F-111s to use anti-shipping missiles and converted 4 into reconnaissance aircraft. Due to their high operating costs, however, they were finally replaced by 24 F-18F Super Hornets. While the F-111 has been retired,
Wow.
a similar aircraft remains in use today. The Russian Sukhoi Su-24 Fencer was conceived shortly after the F-111 and is remarkably similar in appearance and role down to the swing wings.
So Russia
Not
copied
quite
it.
the Aardvark's
Bulky.
equal in terms of range, speed, or weapons load. Nearly 3 times more Su-24s were produced, and over 300 serve on today in various world air forces.
Oh wow.
They've been actively used in combat over Syria, Chechnya, Libya, Afghanistan,
Chechnya.
and Ukraine. A Russian Su-24 attacking Syrian rebels was shot down in 2015 by a Turkish F-16, causing a major diplomatic incident.
Wow.
Variants.
Very.
563 F-111s of all variants were built. After the F-111A, the F-111D and E models upgraded the Aardvark's
They
electronics
have
and engine
all the
inlets
ABCDs.
and increased the thrust of the engines. Another variant, the FB-111, was designed as a strategic
And this
bomber
is like
with
that
improved
paper
engines,
Yeah.
stretched 2 feet longer to accommodate additional fuel. 75 of these served in
But
strategic
this
air
looks
command
very
units.
nice.
The F-111C was sold exclusively to Australia. It incorporated a mixture of design elements of the FB-111 and the F-111E. The
like a
definitive
pen.
F-111F
Really pointy.
sported engines with 35% more thrust, upgraded radar, and a PaveTac infrared targeting pod that allowed the crew to identify targets on the ground and hit them with precision-guided munitions.
Wow.
Starting in the mid-1970s, 42 F-111As were converted into unarmed EF-111A Raven electronic jamming platforms at a cost of $1.5 billion. The EF-111's key system was an ALQ-99E jamming pod that emitted radiation that scrambled radars in the vicinity, permitting entire formations of aircraft to pass in its wake undetected.
Nice.
When active, the jammer's current literally caused the hairs on the crew's heads to stand as it crackled through the plane. Thus, the Raven was known as the Sparkvark to its pilots.
Spark
The
one.
EF-111 is distinguishable by the receiver pod on the tail fin. The F-111 was in service with the USAF from 1967 through 1998. The FB-111s were operated by Strategic Air Command from 1969 before the conversion to F-111G and transferred to Air Combat Command until their retirement in 1993.
Oh wow. So it served well.
It's very unique.
This plane looks dangerous because the way it is made and the way it is built, it looks very dangerous. And the thing is, like, they discontinued it because because there were some better planes like F-15s, 16s, and that what we know about. But this is something like they built 500 of these, and it like lasts them very well.
Also, it was light in a weight. It was not that bulky, and also it's amazing design. I often notice the exterior of the these jets, and also it has one of the major features that it presents the whole map. We saw.
Yeah, and also like it can show you like where it is heading. I think so. Every new plane might have it, but this was the one too that brought it in limelight. And the thing is like this plane just tells you like show you like wow, because in 1960s and 70s like America had this plane and then Russia copied it. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
Subscribe.
bye.
Bye.